it is, why it's important where it is, which is really something you need to consider. We are based in Glasgow, right in the middle of everything. Uh, it's really important to think of this program in terms of where it's located because Scotland is a hub for financial technology. We have over 220 fintech firms in what you call the Central Belt, it's in the middle of Scotland. We have 15 universities developing fintech skills and incredible investment opportunities. We have students who come pretty much from everywhere, and our campus is very well set up for the development of new technologies and the understanding of finance. Pretty much, we are right in the center of Scotland, where the little red arrow is. It's the largest city or urban space in Scotland, a population of 1.7 million out of 5.5 million that we have. We have over 22,000 students, and there are more than 50,000 students in this particular area in Glasgow. So there's a very, very healthy student population that allows us to pinch talent from wherever we find it. We also have locations in London, Oman, Mauritius, Nepal, Hong Kong. So we are an international student university with a very broad look into what we do. So as I said, Glasgow is a fantastic city and a fantastic city for technologies. We have hubs from different major banks and financial institutions everywhere that help us, develop and improve the type of offer that we make in terms. Our history is we are a blend of two institutions, the Queen's College, Glasgow from 1875 and 1971, the Glasgow Poly. So there is a Glasgow Polytechnic, sorry. So there is quite a bit of technological emphasis in what we do. And more importantly, a focus on practical development of practical and professional skills that will help you for your future employability. It's also important to know what we do, what our ethos is as a university. We aim at delivering social benefit and a social impact through education, research, and social innovation. That's really, really important because in today's world, fintech is not only reserved to your financial institutions, markets, but also at the other end, at programs that have been created with a social objective in mind, such as social financial inclusion and microfinance and things of that nature that actually have helped substantially over the years to grow access to finance and financial means. The MSc in Financial Technology. The MSc in Financial Technology, we have three schools at the university: School of Engineering and Built Environment, the Glasgow School for Business and Society, and the School of Health and Life Sciences. Our 22,000 students and plus are spread over these three schools. The MSc in Financial Technology sits between the School of Business and the School of Engineering. And the School of Engineering provides us with the technology infrastructure, where the School of Business provides us with the financial elements of the program. This program is a blend of two particular technical skills: the financial side and the computing science part. And we rely on the expertise of both groups in order to further develop knowledge and skills that will help the industry as a whole to further develop. Within the finance group, the group in charge of this program, we have an undergraduate program, a set of undergraduate programs that focus on accountancy, finance, investment, and risk management. At a postgraduate level, we have accountancy, finance, and regulation, risk management, international banking and finance, and financial technology. So our postgraduate programs are feeding from our undergraduate programs as well. We also develop CPDs out of this, continuous professional development programs. So we are constantly in touch with what is happening in the industry. And we also have the educational background in order to further develop knowledge, continue to specialize, um, go deeper into the complexity of topics. There are two important elements about this program that make it what it is. On the one hand, this program is accredited by the Chartered Banker Institute. What does that mean? It means that the Chartered Banker Institute, which is an accreditation body, they went through everything that we teach, all the courses that we teach, all the knowledge, all the skills, um, all the content of the program, how we assess it, and they give us an accreditation. That accreditation means that by the time you finish this program, by the time you graduate, you are an associate chartered banker. I don't need to tell you how important it is for a program to be accredited. It means, if you not aware of this, it means that the knowledge of this program is knowledge that is being imparted and is being imparted for and is being used by and required by the industry as a whole. Chartered Banker Institute gives us that seal of approval that everything that we teach is useful, is beneficial for the industry. So we are not giving you any kind of subjects, or we're not teaching any subjects that are not useful for your career in the future. The Data Lab is an institution within Scotland which is focused on the development of technological skills. The Data Lab recognizes not only our offering, but also our contribution. And they do that by giving us 2 scholarships and access to a lot of the resources they have. It is a growing institute in terms of their influence on the teaching of technology within Scotland. So what do we want to do with this program is basically to provide you up-to-date support and solutions for current technological trends. That's what you should be, by the end of this program, be able to do. As all of you will know, technologies within the financial industry are moving at an incredible pace. And by an incredible pace, I mean these are programs that are designed to constantly these are technologies that have been designed to allow you to access information from any kind of financial transaction that you want to do and act on that information and buy, sell, do whatever you want within a very short space of time using large volumes of data. That conundrum, that problem, that issue has all sorts of various elements that you need to be able to work with. For example, when you're thinking about the amount of information and the amount of support that is required for a payment system, you need to understand that where the money is coming from, what kind of infrastructure is required, what kind of data is being transferred, how that data needs to be secured, and how does that transaction clear in a space of seconds. You go to the shop, you want to buy a pound of rice, a kilo of rice. You want to buy a kilo of rice and you use your debit card to buy that. That transaction itself requires a myriad of infrastructure elements for the transaction to go through. The account is your personal account is debited and a merchant needs to be paid. It doesn't happen by magic. This is where you come in. You need to understand how that process works from beginning to end, which is why we teach you and how we teach you. You need to understand how you secure those transactions, how the data that is being transferred is secured. And more importantly, you need to know how this can be done in a way in which is feasible financially. In other words, all these transactions need to be cost effective as well. And the whole system is geared towards increasing and growing as much as possible these networks on which you're going to be able to work. And as you know as well, these transactions are just getting more and more complex. In the space of, let's call it 15 years, it's not that long, we have changed the way in which we access money, the way in which we pay, where we buy, how we think about money. It's been 15 years. In some cases, you could even say slightly less, probably by 13, 14. The moment you have smartphones in your hands, it becomes a general technology. And we're still trying to catch up in terms of some of the implications. So the knowledge that you need in order to understand these trends is enormous. And there's constant change to what is happening in the market. Um, you need to understand what will teach you in order to be able to make a positive contribution to the development of this industry is figure out what machine learning is, how neural networks operate, what data science algorithms are, how to use exploratory statistics. Because what we have here is a financial issue, a financial problem linked with a technological problem. And you need to be able to dissect both and understand how both feed on each other. That relationship with it's a symbiotic relationship. One feeds on the other, which is quite interesting. And we deal with that pretty much all the time. We need to look at software development methodologies. Realistically speaking, we are not going to make software geniuses out of you. Um, you can turn yourself into a software genius and a programmer, but where we want you to be is in the center of the action. We want you to be able to make the decisions, understand what the software development requirements are, making realistic forecast of what will be needed, but at the same time understanding the financial impact, in particular of banking and financial institutions, what they need to know, how the systems need to work, the volume of daily transactions in in finance and from banks and financial institutions is enormous. You're talking about millions and millions of transactions that occur every day. You need to understand how these work, both from the consumer side and from the industry side. And you need to be able to find out what and forecast what problems may arise from this. Also, like everything else related to finance and data, it's about information collection techniques. And information collection techniques is curating data, is understanding what data is needed. Because uh, what we find is there are enormous amounts of information and data there that you can capture and turn into mathematical models and see what happens and throw it in. There's a lot of information that is just used for the sake of using information. We need to be able to capture, process, store, and transfer the right type of information. And we deal with that through our program, just enabling you to curate the type of information that you actually need, the type of data that you need in order to be able to make sound financial decisions. We are also going to give you um, an insight into what is happening in the industry. So, looking at technological developments. What is going on in finance at the moment that is leading the research agenda? That's on top of the research agenda. One of the areas where you may imagine there's a lot of change and constant discussion is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity and payment systems. Wherever there's a possibility, wherever there's an wherever there is a technological development related to finance, related to financial assets, money, there is going to be security issues. And cybersecurity has been, from the moment that we had the first website and access to the internet, we've had cybersecurity issues. You could only imagine that with the increase that we have in the volume of transactions, we have commensurate increase in the number of cybersecurity issues. Cybersecurity is key when it comes to financial technologies. It's an area that we're going to cover in terms of some of the modules that we're going to look at. Machine learning, neural networks, data science algorithms, all these elements that are coming in with artificial intelligence are a moving target as well. So we will try to give you the infrastructure or the knowledge infrastructure for you to be able to understand and incorporate this knowledge to your current practice. There's elements of higher education that we look into as well in terms of analyzing and synthesizing qualitative, quantitative data, critically analyzing, thinking, research projects. One of your modules is, and I'll talk about the modules in a second, is all about developing research and understanding research using information sources in an appropriate manner, critically reviewing, synthesizing, and developing new knowledge. So what we do at Glasgow Caledonian University in the School of Business and the School of Computing is do research-based teaching. What does that mean? When we are preparing our lectures, our seminars, our classes, we are looking at what are the latest developments that are affecting the topic that we're teaching at a point in time. So you have a finger on the pulse of what's going on a constant basis. From this, one final thing, one of the tools that we use in GCU is the Bloomberg Lab. We are one of the few institutions in Scotland with a Bloomberg Lab where we have the 20 plus terminals with which we can access all the information, all the current information in financial markets and in general economy on a global basis. The advantage of the Bloomberg terminal for you is if you are aware of anything that happens in financial institutions, we certify you as users of Bloomberg. And that is very, very helpful for employability once you get into the market. So what we do in terms of this module is, in terms of this program, we have each semester or each trimester, each term, we have 4 top modules, and then we have your research project. So your first trimester, if you start, say, in September, I'll flip it in a bit. You would start with bank risk management, where you understand what are the key elements that you need to look into when you're analyzing the risk of a financial institution. And then we do software development for data sciences, artificial intelligence and machine learning, and data ethics and research methods. The first one is very finance oriented. So you're looking at all the risks that would affect the balance sheet of a financial institution, particularly banking. And then you have all the elements that go into software development, artificial intelligence, data ethics, all the elements that go into the technologies aspect. In the second trimester or the first trimester, depending on when you're starting, you have banking and financial regulation, fundamentals of financial technology, research methods of finance, data visualization, and financial risk modeling. So you can have one or the other depending on when you're starting. Now, a key element over here, especially when it comes to the order of these modules, all these modules are in a way self-contained. So you can start either in September or January and will not affect your study. So in other words, there's no codependencies between modules. So you can start whenever you want, really, either try one or try two, or semester one or semester two, or term one, term two, however you want to call it. From these modules, all these modules you can see were put together cohesively and understanding what the ultimate need of industry is in terms of what a person specializing in financial technology should know. Data visualization, for example, is one of those key modules in which you learn how to take all the information you have and make it logical, make it easy to understand. My background, you didn't ask, but I'm telling you, I come from industry, from American Express first, and prior to that, I was in a bank called Scotia Bank. And the communication between finance or the finance department and the technologies department is usually something of different languages being spoken. It's not only the fact that the concepts, the ideas, the methods that are being used in finance and technologies tend to be different because the sciences are different and because the background of individuals are different. Is also understanding the different logic, the different how individuals understand logic, how individuals understand processes. It's quite different. And one of the things that this program brings to you is this ability to navigate both. So I've always been very interested in how these cultural issues get resolved, especially around a working desk. When you're dealing with colleagues from different departments, how do you talk about issues? How do you talk about problems? And then there is your finance research project. Your finance research project is the capstone. The capstone meaning it brings together everything that you have learned to a particular point. This is your thesis, your dissertation, your big project that is worth 3 top modules. You go out there in the world and you research something new. We take you through the different types of methodologies that you can use. You take you about different topics, but what we're looking for is that you develop mastery of a subject in a particular area. In a way, when you think about the finance research project and the dissertation or the dissertation, you're looking at almost like a presentation card. This is what I can do. This is what I'm able to do. This is how I'm able to do it. It is. It allows you to go there and figure out different aspects of financial technology and how you can apply it. As I said at the beginning, this can be from the micro social level of microfinance, of social inclusion, economic inclusion, to investment banking, different types of portfolio building. So there are a whole host of elements that can go into the finance research project. And that's, I'm sorry if I've went a little bit fast on this, but do you have any questions?
Thanks very much for that, Mauricio. That was really interesting. And all our attendees, as Mauricio says, you get the opportunity to post questions in the public chat or the Q&A section of the webinar. So we'll give you a few seconds to that. Well, lady's got a question there for us, Mauricio. Do you see it?
Start of the modules at the first semester, second semester. Does that mean the student for a particular academy session can join either in the first or second semester? We have two entry points in this program. One is in January, and one is in September. If you start in January, you start with this set. Let me see if I can bring. If you start in January, your first semester, your first semester will be this. It will look something like this: banking financial regulations without the research methods. Your second semester, this would be from January to, say, May. Then your second term would be from September to December, and you would be writing your research methods in January the following year. Make sense? But yes, you can enter either in September or January.
Okay, that's good. Feel free to type any more questions. Or lady, if you get any more questions, or anyone else with questions, please type them there, and myself and Maurizio will answer them. That was really interesting, Maurizio. Thank you very much for doing that. It's just such a fast-changing world.
It's incredibly so. It's incredibly. It's one of those things that when we sit down to write content for the modules or prepare the lectures, you always are taken aback and like, when does this happen? It's like it is fast moving, and we're playing catch up all the time. But it's quite interesting. I mean, we all see it, you know.
I spent 15, 16 years in financial services, but I left 10 years ago or so. And I think in the first 100 years, so little changed, but in the last 10 years, the differences has been like chalk and cheese.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. I'm a bit like you. I left financial services quite a while back, but it's the changes that we've seen in everything, and you just wait. When did this happen?
Those changes will continue. I mean, it's not just affecting financial services, affecting everything. And then obviously you talked about machine learning, but AI will come to the financial world as well. And
knocking on our door now, and we need to be able to figure out what
how
the
to deal with it.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Is anyone any last chance to ask some questions before we finish this off? Give them a few seconds, Maurizio.
It's okay. Perfectly fine.
Okay. Well, I don't think we're going to get any more questions. I think, first of all, thank you, Maurizio, for that really enlightening presentation. But also thank you to everyone that attended as well. If you get any more questions, if you just send them to inquiries@gcu.ac.uk, we will answer them for you. But thank you once again, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.